Welcome back to another episode of Talk Vibe Hustle, the podcast where we dive into the mind and the passion of today's most inspiring people in the city. Today we in for somebody very special. This is a first time for me. This gentleman actually reached out to me, and at that moment, that's when I went and I said, "Mama, we done made it." That's the first time somebody reached out to me to be on my show, and honest to God, that was a moment that I had to thank the Lord for, because I've been praying for that moment, praying for somebody to see that the show that we are doing is first of all worth even being on, and praying for that moment for somebody to reach out to me and say, "Hey man, I want to be a part of what you're building," because I truly believe without you being the person that you are, I'm not able to do this.
Outstanding.
Yes, indeed. So without further ado, we have an amazing human being right here. I'm gonna be real with y'all. The intro I wrote, I don't think is good enough. So I'm just gonna let the interview and this podcast speak for itself. And by the end of it, I promise you, you're gonna know who this person is. Mr. Shurlock Hubbart. Yeah? Did I get it right?
Yeah, you got it right.
There it is.
Yeah,
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So the point of my show is I want to give you your flowers for being the person you are, but I also want to let my audience know about your journey, because I think there's somebody on the other side of that camera that's planning on having a journey or going through something right now that we can deliver a message to them. So let's start off from the beginning on how you got into the music world. Let's go for it.
Wow, that's way back.
Let's do it.
Actually, I was at Florida A&M marching, and my godbrother, who's the DJ for Arrested Development, he asked me to come and join the crew as a sound guy. From that, I started working with his production company, Coattail Productions, and from there, from Coattail Productions to So Deaf, working with Manual Seal, and doing other projects with TV and video gaming. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's a very quick beginning. So were you already into sound? Or?
Well, I started here in Birmingham. When I first started, I was charging like $25 a track.
Okay. Were you mixing?
No, I was a music producer.
Okay.
So I was making the music, and people would pay me $25 for a beat. And then from that, I started working with a company called Unity Productions over in Terrence City.
Okay.
A guy by the name of Darren Reeves.
Okay.
And I started producing for his artists, and we started moving units. And from that, my production started to kind of develop. People liked the stuff that I was doing because my stuff sounded like the things that was on the radio.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I didn't have the average production sound from here.
Okay. So getting into your production journey, like, was it that something that you've always wanted to do, or did you end up with like the 808 in front of you, or how did that go?
No 808. I had a Casio.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
With the orange beat pad.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I had one track to record one thing on. So that's where it kind of, I've been playing music since I was little. I started playing for my church when I was like in preschool.
Okay. Wow. Preschool is crazy.
So I was playing drums for the kids' choir, and my mom thought, might as well get them some lessons, and I got some lessons, and then I went from church to elementary school, and from elementary school, all city band. Then I played for the Alabama Youth Symphony for about 4 years.
Okay.
And then when I got in high school, it was always percussion.
Okay. Oh, so you picked up percussion in high school.
No.
So you was the
percussion was from preschool.
I'm saying when you got to high school, you picked it up as well. You kept going with it.
I kept going with it. Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like in my mind, when people play the drums in school, you probably like the coolest person in the band. Everybody sees the band in one light, and then you play percussion, and you in this totally different light.
No, I was a geek.
Power to the geeks.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Age of the geek, baby.
Yeah, it is.
But no, that's how I got my name, Shurlock.
Okay.
Because I was a know-it-all.
Ah, okay.
So, you answering questions and people talk to you, it comes back and everybody say, Shurlock.
Okay.
No blank Shurlock. You know what I'm saying? No blank Shurlock. It just kept going.
Yeah.
Until
and
everybody
was like, I'll take it.
Yeah. So everybody just says, hey, Shurlock.
Yeah.
Hey, Shurlock. So that's how I got my name.
That's tough. That's tough. So we fast forwarded now. You're working with your brother and you're the music guy. Was it the atmosphere that drew you in, that kept you there, or what was it that really kept you there afterwards?
Because I'm a geek, I have to know how things work. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm with you.
if somebody did a song, I would tear it apart and redo it so I understood how they did that song.
Yeah.
So it was the learning. I was always learning. You never stop learning in production.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the mentors I had, they challenged me to listen to stuff that I didn't listen to.
Okay.
So by listening to music that you don't want to listen to, you find different rhythms, you find different cadences, you find different chord progressions, you find different melody setups and how vocals are used in different countries and different cultures. You know what I'm saying? So by learning that, you can pull from these things when you come back here.
Yeah.
And somebody wants to do a song, but they want to have this feel, and they let you hear it. You say, oh, that's like an Indian. I could take some from Ghana. I can put this. I could take this hip-hop beat. I can use these jazz chords. Okay. And what you want to talk about? Oh, so I can't use that. I have to put this here and use that to make this fit into that realm. So
I'm understanding.
You know what I'm saying? So you start to being able to piece things together.
Okay. So as a good podcast host, I have to do my research. Your time in the military, do you think that, did you travel a lot and that's what gave you that insight to understanding other music in other places?
Military was after.
After, okay.
Because my manager stole all my money.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's unpack that. You can't just say that and we gonna keep talking about the military because Uncle Sam dipping in that same pocket too.
Right.
So what happened? What?
My godbrother and I was making substantial money doing remixes. That was kind of my thing.
Okay.
And I had enough money. I was finna buy my mom a house. Came back here. I was gonna just write the check and be done with it. They said my check bounced. I said no. There's no way my check bounced. Not for that amount. No.
Yeah.
And
not for that amount is crazy. Wait a minute. That's how you know I was in the bank. Not for that. It's the subtleties to it.
Yeah,
yes, I'm loving it. Okay.
Not for that.
Okay.
No. So she went and ran again, called the bank. She said, yeah, your manager said y'all was moving banks. So called her, couldn't get her. Called again, couldn't get her. Kept calling, couldn't get her. Jumped in the car. I got to Atlanta probably in an hour. Went to the bank, asked them what was going on. The young lady said, yeah, she pulled your money and this artist and that other artist. She pulled everybody's money. Come to find out, her and my godbrother had a problem of falling out. And from that, she took everybody's money out the account. Now, he was able to sue because he was a co-founder of Arrested Development. He had bank. He had money still coming in. I'm a nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm a ghost producer on most of the stuff I worked on.
Yeah.
So
you don't have a name to yourself?
Right. You know what I'm saying? I have a name, but it's not, I'm just starting to pop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it wasn't nothing I can do.
Yeah.
So I came back, and I was kind of defeated, and I was in a slump for almost 3-4 months, living off my unemployment checks.
That's enough to send you spiraling, because as a person who has touched success in my own field before, and to have it pulled away from you like that, like I can only imagine what that does to your mental.
Yeah, and then at this time I didn't understand mental.
Right.
I didn't understand how that would affect me. I just thought I was gonna figure something out.
Yeah.
It was just gonna take me some time. But in big mama fashion, you got to get up out of here.
You got to get up out of here. You can't be staying here.
You got to do something. So that week, down Periscope, Hunt for Red October, all these Navy movies is just coming on TV. Just picked up the phone and said, how much you want? Wow. What? Hold up.
That's so crazy to me because, like, you know, sometimes people say the Lord will speak to you, and for you, that was the conversation.
Yeah, that was it was just every time I turned on TV, it was some Navy something, McHale's Navy, this and that. It was always a Navy, and it was the whole week, from that Monday to that Saturday when I made the call. When I woke up that Saturday morning, I was taking my stuff back to Blockbuster. I came back home, and Humphrey Red October was on. I said,
Great
you know
movie,
what?
by the way.
Yeah.
Movie. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm done. I just make the call. And I think that was his easiest recruit ever.
That's quick money right there.
He called and said, hey, okay, what you need to know when we go into Montgomery? He said, we can go tomorrow. I said, cool, what time? He said, well, you don't want to know about it. I said, I just need to get to Montgomery and take the test.
How old were you?
Oh, I think I was like 20, about 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
24 at the time.
That's insane. Not nobody looking at the phone.
And he's like, well, I'm going to come talk to you there. I said, oh, okay. He came and took me to McDonald's of all places.
Crazy. Ironic after the conversation, full circle after we just had, okay?
Yeah, so we go in there and he's sitting there, you want something? No, what? I wasn't trying to really have, I'm not trying to be your dude, but you know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, what's going on? I was like, nothing. He was like, well, do you want to know about the boot camp and this? And I was like, no, I just want to go take the test so I can get in. So he was like, okay, well, let me come, let's go. He was, before.
Okay.
So he's like, let's go and let me get your weight. Let me do this and we can figure this out. Did all that. The next morning, 5 o'clock, we was in Montgomery. Took the test. Did all the physical stuff. They come back and they tell you what you did on the test and what you can go for. Just like you can be a nurse or you can be a dental tech. It's like, I'll be a nurse. Whatever. Boot camp was 4 months later.
Wow. What a journey. What a life journey. So, because in my mind, like at 24, that's like coming out of college age, or like somebody who might have waited a couple years then went to college or something like that. So 24, and for me, shoot, I was pulling up on being a father at 24. So wow. So military, we go to military, and what comes of that? I love this sinister laugh. I love that.
So I go through boot camp. I get my ship up in Seattle, Everett, Washington, and doing drills. And I'm thinking I'm going to make a life of this thing, you know. So I'm like, okay, Navy, that's cool. We getting to go here, we go there. I get to board ships with guns, and you know, we had to go to Kodiak, Alaska, for some drills. 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm both made a watch. Boot, which is what we call new shipmates that come to the ship. He was on aft lookout. His whole job is to stay up, so if anybody go overboard, he can throw over the life light, tell the forward deck what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
He's sleeping so loud at 2 o'clock in the morning that the 1MC, the radio people, hear him.
No, stop.
I'm like, I'm finna tear him up. I'm finna bust him. He gonna have to do shift after shift after shift. So I go down, told the First Louis that I was finna go wake him up and make sure he got extra shifts. So I go through the helo hangar, I put on the pumpkin suit because it's cold. As I dog down the hatch to the helo hangar, they make a sharp port turn. My foot slipped, and I go over the lifelines. So I'm holding on to the lifelines, and I'm screaming for him to wake up.
No.
Because they made that turn.
No.
He's on the deck sleep.
No. This is my worst fear.
So I'm trying to pull myself up, but I have the punkin suit on, so I'm extra weight. And my hands are starting to bleed. I'm pulling, I'm screaming. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Everybody's asleep. They can't hear me on the quarterdeck, so,
Yeah.
So I look up, my hand pops, and I'm trying to pull back up, and I see myself falling backwards. And I remember hitting, and that was it. I was unconscious for the 3 days in the water.
3 days in the water?
Yeah.
My God. So hello. Good morning. You wake up the next day. Well, 3 days later, you wake up. What's first thing on your mind?
Well, for me, it was like I hit and I opened my eyes.
Yeah. I've been knocked unconscious. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
So it was like I hit, and you got to remember the ship is like falling from 4-story apartment. So when you hit the water,
It's a brick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they said they noticed me gone at 6 a.m. at muster.
That's 3 hours later.
All full stop.
Oh, my God.
Found out who was on shift. Tried to do all the stuff, but time is going by. They called the fleet. The fleet comes out there the next day, and they start trying to backtrack. But it's not like you trying to find somebody on the street where you just go straight.
You don't know.
Where the water is pushing, you have to kind of zigzag in a certain kind of way to try to find. And then they got helos and airplanes off the carrier flying by trying to use radar and everything. And I'm like, it's like taking a piece of pepper, just one flake of pepper, and dropping it in a pot of water, and you're trying to see it.
Wow.
So
what a description.
So when they found me, for some kind of reason, they said my head was on a piece of driftwood. So at some point, I did come conscious enough where I got a piece of driftwood, put my head up on it like this, and rested. And when they found me, that's how they found me.
First thing first, I'm going to tell you right now, that's my biggest fear. Actually, I'm afraid of open water. I'm deathly afraid of open water. So you're my hero. We just found that out. Crazy. I want your autograph before you leave. Because that's insane to me because, like, again, going back to my first thought, like, what does that do to your mental? I'm not okay listening to you. Straight up. So coming to realization of all of this.
It was hard to swallow when I first got back. They had me at the hospital and everything. It was hard because I had hypothermia and all that. Still couldn't grasp what happened. Still, I remember hitting it, but I didn't. I thought it was like just like it was the same day.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was 3 days until later. It starts making you, because of it, I have a part of my memory that's shut off.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that's because
Trauma.
my brain is trying to protect me.
Yep.
But you know what I'm saying? There are times when I do have nightmares of being in the water and stuff, but there's no conclusion of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess pushing forward through that and then coming back home and all the other life things are life and around you, it builds up to a point where my mental health was at risk.
Mm-hmm.
And I did attempt to take my life. And people be like, why you did that? Why would you do that? That's so selfish. It wasn't a selfish act.
Yeah.
Because it was more of me. I know how I made other people feel while I'm going through it. So it's hard trying to keep that mask on, that smile, and be happy to make everybody else in the room feel good. You know what I'm saying? And so, in my mind, me taking myself out would have made it better for everybody else so they wouldn't have to see me. You see what I'm saying? It takes it out of their hands, so now they don't have to worry about me no more. They don't have to try to figure anything out. They don't have to do this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
Most of the time, people who are going through self-sabotage like that, they're not doing it because they're doing it for themselves. They're doing it so that the people around them can be better.
Damn, that brought a tear to my eye. Damn, that's tough. That's a tough mental place to just be in and dwell there. Like trying to, like essentially you're saying that your existence is a burden to other people. Yeah. And that's just not okay to me because like every person that is on this planet, you are a blessing. It's a blessing for you to even be here. It's a blessing and a miracle. And so for you to feel as though that in itself is an issue for other people, that's just awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
And everything that I've learned about it since, being hospitalized and everything, I've learned that my brain has a chemical imbalance. So whereas if something happened to you, you can focus on it, have a game plan, figure something out, work through it.
Yeah. My
brain does the opposite. It starts to dig what we call a rabbit hole in the mental health community.
Okay.
I start to, since that worked, I know if I try this definitely ain't going to work. And if I ask these people to help me, that's going to be a waste of time. So even if I do get the money and I do get caught up, I'm still going to be late over here. And then I'm going to be late here. And then I'm going to be going through this. It takes you through this big rabbit hole of just everything failing. And it's hard to get out of that. Most of us are living with mental health issues like I have clinical depression and I have what they call severe anxiety. Mm-hmm. To deal with what I deal with on a daily basis, I just want to be at a baseline where I'm okay. Not great, not fixed, not anything. I just want to be okay.
Yeah.
And for a lot of people, they don't
get that.
Like,
yeah.
For me, just being okay is wonderful.
Yeah, that's a great day.
That's great.
Yeah.
Me being just up under my baseline, anything can happen and go wrong. And then when people try to help you and they don't understand mental health, they can make it worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, you depressed. Black folks been depressed their whole life.
Nah.
What's the other one? Man up.
Yeah.
And get over
it. I hate that. I hate man up so much because what does that mean?
Explain it to me.
Actually explain what man up. So you mean to tell me this situation that has just occurred that has affected me mentally to whether you said man up because you see me crying, you say man up because I'm sitting here complaining about it, whatever the case may be, I am vocalizing that it is a problem. And your response is to bottle it up and don't communicate to anybody about it. And then like tomorrow I go through something else and then just take that and add that to the bottle and put it back in the pocket. And then next week when I lose my job too, but better put that in the bottle. At what point does the bottle shatter and I become a vessel that is no longer able to hold those things?
The biggest thing is when people start doing that to you, people with mental health, and I'm not saying everybody's case is different.
Yeah.
But for me, what it did was it made me not ask you anything anymore. I can't come to you for nothing.
For nothing now.
Because now I know that any vulnerability I have, you're going to crush it.
Yep.
I'm not going to come to you and ask you nothing because any vulnerability I have, you're going to just dismiss it.
Yep.
And then once you start seeing the patterns, one of the big things with people with mental health, we are very quick to find who we cannot depend on.
Yeah.
And who we don't even need to talk to. So you start to get into this small box and you're alone.
Mm-hmm.
I could be at a family function, but I'm there by myself. I'm trying to smile, I'm trying to interact, but even if I'm talking to you, I'm still alone.
Yeah.
Now imagine being alone, even though you're in a room full of people, for a year and a half. You start to get weak.
Yeah.
And nobody's asking or trying to be there with you in that place because they just want you to get over it.
Oh
so
my
now
God.
you start developing techniques of, I'm going to laugh about everything.
Yeah.
That's making you comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm dying on the inside.
Oh my God. Oh
I'm
my
over here,
God.
I'm going to eat your food and we're going to play cards and we're going to have a good time and I'm going to joke like I used to. But I'm dying on the inside.
Yeah.
I'm doing all these other things so that you're comfortable.
Yeah. Dang, you finna make me cry again. It's because without sharing too much about somebody that's in my personal life, they've explained this to me recently. And they explained to me that the mental place that they are in exactly like that. So like again, that even when that person explains it to me, it brings tears to my eyes because the way I view people versus like what you're explaining to me is just so sad to me. It breaks my heart, really.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then when people do want to help, because you've been being protective, it's harder for them to help you.
Yeah.
Because they want to talk to you, you don't want to talk. They want to come take you somewhere, you don't want to.
You don't want to go nowhere.
You know what I'm saying? So like I tell people, like my friends know that if I am below my baseline, hey, I'm finna come over there. Okay. And they'll just come sit and watch TV. They don't have to say nothing. They don't do nothing. Them dishes in there dirty. Yeah. All right. They'll get up and just wash my dishes. Or they'll come in there and sit with me and do nothing. Believe it or not, that one
That's what
act,
you needed.
that one act of you just being there, we don't have to talk. That helps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to force me to go somewhere, that don't help.
Yeah.
But just being there helps.
Yeah. And I think for other people looking into, they don't know that you're past that point of trying to put myself out there to make myself feel better. Like you're past that point already. So for them, they're like, oh, well, he just don't know how to do it. No, I've tried that.
Yeah, I'm on protection mode right now.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm trying to protect myself from being disappointed by you again or upset by you again. Because you don't care that you upset me. Because if you did, you wouldn't say
you wouldn't do it. Oh my God, that's so true. That's so true. So you, if you don't mind me talking about it, you had this failed attempt at suicide, and I want to understand something. At that moment of making that decision, yes or no, what was that like for you in that moment?
Have you ever seen the shows when people try to take their life and stuff, and they've called this person and did all those things? In reality, there's no phone calls made because I'm not trying to get you to stop me.
Yeah.
You know, it was days that I used to take my mom's 38 and just lay in the bed and practice pulling the trigger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wrote my letter.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I took the pills and I laid in the tub. Just so happened my god sister came by. She took me to the hospital and they admitted me right away.
Yeah.
But me going to that hospital was the best thing that happened. Because here's what a lot of people don't understand. In our community, nobody talks about it.
Nope.
So by not talking about it, you don't have the basic information.
Yeah.
See, if I would have had the basic information about what depression was, I would have long ago went to a hospital and asked for help. Because they would have been able to get me to talk to somebody on a daily basis or a weekly basis. But being that I didn't know I needed that, I went to family. I went to friends.
And those people don't have the information
And
you
they
need.
don't, because they don't believe in it.
Yeah.
They believe in cancer.
Yeah.
They believe in HIV, which is something they can't see.
You can't see it. Oh my God! But you can see depression on people sometimes. It'll be there. It'll be there. The signs are there.
And the key word is I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear somebody saying I'm tired, you just woke up. It's not because they're physically tired. They're mentally tired because they have to put this mask back on and act like they're okay for your benefit, not for theirs. So I got to work just so that you feel okay with me being around. And I'm trying to be around somebody so bad because I'm so alone that I have to put this face
That you
on.
gotta do it. That's so unfortunate. That's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's honestly, that's the only way I can paraphrase it. That's so unfortunate. I'm sorry. I know I have nothing to do with it. I know you've heard a million I'm sorry's before. I'm gonna add mine to the list. Hey, but I can do nothing more but to say I'm sorry.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And which is one of the reasons, even my mom, who I love her, I just love her.
Yeah.
And she just passed this January.
Yeah.
But she still didn't understand it, even on her deathbed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But she still knew that it was important that I try to get the word out and try to educate people on what mental health awareness is.
Yeah. So when you began the journey of spreading the word of mental health and the illnesses that come with it, well, what was a hurdle for you at the beginning?
Just performing again, because music was out of the question. But in the hospital, there was a young lady by the name of Asia Goings. She was one of my counselors, and I don't tell people what I've done or who I've worked with or things like that. It's not for me to say. That's bragging in my head. She found out I did some stuff for Ghost Town DJs. She found out I did Blackberry Molasses. She found out I worked with all these major songs, and I had albums and videos.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, well, why don't you do that? I was like, no, that's not going to help me. She said, it will if you just work toward it. By working toward what you love to do, whether you believe you love to do it or not now, we can get you to work towards something.
Mm-hmm.
And that was her goal. I just need to work towards something. And in working towards something, by the time I got ready to leave the hospital, I put on a concert for the vets at the hospital, and raised over 300 clear backpacks for them, just from me performing there.
Yeah.
And I was able to help somebody else, and that's what she was trying to get me to do. And by doing that, most of the time I perform now, my band and my team might get paid, but I don't get paid because I'm trying to raise awareness.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get the word out there. When I did my show at the Boutwell, it was a free concert. Everybody just call in and you can come. I had people there who was able to speak on what mental health awareness was and how they're helping nonprofits. So I was there that was helping as well. And plus, when I got ready to perform, I was able to share my story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And in that show, I had probably 6 or 7 people tell me, we didn't know. I said, yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't let nobody know.
Yeah. You're a fantastic person, by the way. I don't know if I've had the opportunity to say that or not. I just want to say that before I move any further while it's on my heart.
You, sir.
Thank you.
So is you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm starving. Chill. We almost done working today. Lord have mercy. All right. So I want to brighten the mood a little bit and kind of make a shift real quick. Your show.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Well, May 24th at Workplay, I'm doing a benefit concert that my mother asked me to do before she passed.
Okay.
To raise awareness about mental health. And on the show, I have DJ Supreme and Shaheed, who are hip-hop legends here in Birmingham. They worked with everybody, and especially Jurassic 5, which is a major hip-hop group.
Yeah.
DJ Supreme worked at Motown, and he was one of the reasons I got my first job at Motown.
Okay.
Doing remixes for Jason Weaver and who was Janae and a couple of other people. DJ Supreme was that guy.
Yeah.
And they're performing, and I have the hilarious comedian Felicia.
Okay.
She's gonna be tearing the house down, and hosting will be my homegirl Keisha Sharp.
Okay.
She'll be hosting and keeping the pace of the show together.
Okay.
And then I will come on and I will destroy the scene like I usually do.
Woohoo! No, I love a little confidence, y'all.
Hey, don't call me Mr. Get It Done for nothing.
Yes,
now. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
indeed.
Yes, sir.
Indeed.
Yes, sir.
So, have you done a show at Workplay before?
Many years ago.
Okay.
Most of the time, I'm doing more like civic centers on tours and stuff. I don't usually do smaller venues.
Toot your horn then.
Toot no horn. No, it's just, at those points when I was doing stuff, I was touring and promoting the projects that I had at the time.
I got you.
So we did bigger venues, mostly West Coast.
Okay.
Or overseas in the UK.
Okay.
Germany, Australia, stuff, Africa, stuff like that. So.
Okay. That's fantastic. I like you. I'm going to say it one more again. I like this guy.
Oh, yeah, and we just dropped Honey Butter, my new music video, which was dedicated to my mom yesterday.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yesterday?
Yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, stamp that. Make sure we get that clip. I wanna put that clip out there, y'all. So, hey, I don't even want to wrap up this interview, but man, okay. Real quick, then. This is outside of the curated questions. In your opinion, what's the identity of Birmingham as far as music goes? I'm curious to hear your standpoint from someone who's been around it for a while.
Well, there's not an industry here.
Yeah.
It could be. But the problem is, and I said this before, and I love my city, don't get me wrong, but facts are facts. There is no cohesiveness. There's no, we're going to get this bag together. You know what I'm saying? One of the biggest things that pulled Atlanta to being Atlanta was that everybody knew everybody and everybody worked within that community first. Mm-hmm. What I mean by that is if you had a label and you had an artist and you was finna get ready to work on a project, the memo went out to everybody here first. So we all got a first shot at trying to
get on that.
Get on that project.
Yeah. So
we kept the money in-house.
Yeah.
We kept everybody's fame in-house.
Yeah.
We gave everybody in-house a lift.
That's the recipe.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if all of us would just collectively get together and say, hey, this is one of our hardest artists, this is one of our hardest artists, and this is one. All these producers and engineers and studio people, y'all sing everything y'all got, the hottest that we have, and let's find the best things for each artist and let all of us use all of our connections to push these three. Once those three start moving, they come back home. And the people that they have on them are promoters, record label execs, tour promoters. Now, that starts to trickle back down, so we need to find somebody else to work with. Everybody camp succeeds. Everybody production team succeeds. Everybody succeeds, but it's a thing of working together.
Yeah.
We can put our own tour on here in this city by ourselves.
We could.
And run it throughout the Southeast.
Yeah.
But that means somebody has to step back or step out the way or just use their connect to help this thing move.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't willing to do that because they want to be the first.
The demise is wanting to be the first, wanting to be the one to bring Birmingham and put Birmingham on the map, huh?
And then if you are the first, are you really going to come back here?
And stay.
I can name 5 people that came from here.
Yeah.
And
ain't never turned back. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Dang, that's so unfortunate too.
Yeah.
Okay. I was curious as to what your answer for that question was going to be, because I've had artists sit here and I asked them, so I was very curious to what your thoughts on that was.
Yeah.
So at the end of my interview, I like to ask 3 conclusion questions. First question being, your future self was to walk through that door. You got 2 questions to ask. What will they be?
2 questions. 1, are you happy? And 2, what's your baseline today?
That'll tell you a lot about what his day was too. Fantastic questions. I feel like you're gonna get a lot of information out of that.
Right.
So this is actually an amazing question for you. If you could have a song to describe your journey in life until now, what would that song be?
Wow. I would have to go to myself. And I have an album called The Finale. And the last song on the album is called The Finale.
I'm going to go ahead and cue it up. When I get in the car, you know what I'm saying? I'm just going to be on the same vibe as you, okay?
I think that one that nails it 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got that queued up.
that kind of nails up everything in a whole.
Okay.
If you hear what I say in that, you'll understand.
Okay. All right. And now that you sat in that chair, you've experienced this interview for yourself. Who do you think the next hustler should be?
I have a top 3 for that.
Give me 3. We love more people to interview.
One is a young cat that I mentored. He goes by the name of 3 a.m. They call him Frank Pepino now.
Frank Pepino.
He's a rapper.
Okay.
He needs to do this. The second is the Godfather, S. Fly. He was in a group called Red Light District.
Okay.
He's the epitome of what hip hop is, period, here. In the culture. They support poetry slams for kids.
Yeah.
And music and everything. And then the other would be none other than DJ Supreme.
DJ Supreme.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
DJ Supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay. We're going to make it happen.
Yeah.
If we need your help, I'm going to call you.
Hey, you got the number, man. I'll reach out to him and you can talk to him directly.
That's fair enough. Well, let the people know, A, again, reiterate the show for me.
Mm-hmm.
B, let them know where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Okay. Where you can find me at all social media is Shurlock, Shurlock, because we don't want them Disney folks coming at me no more. So it's SHU umbrella RLOCK. Website is The Real Shurlock, DAREALLOCK. Social media, all the same, Shurlock 2020. Now we have April 12th, a mental health matters bike ride.
Okay.
The ladies of Riding with a Purpose is promoting it and sponsoring the whole ride for us. Gonna have an hour ride from Peyton Park all the way over to the Walmart in Fairfield.
That's tough. Okay.
With escorts and everything. So if you got a bike, a slingshot, you want to come out and be a part of it, registration starts April 12th at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Kickstands go up at 9:15.
All right, kickstands off at 9:15, baby.
Yeah. And
I 10 by 10.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
and
tough.
then we got May 24th. with your boy, Mr. Get It Done, a.k.a. Mr. Bling Bling, a.k.a. The Other Side of the Truth, a.k.a. What you gonna do with your boy, a.k.a. Mr. Cleophus. Where the big girls at, Jenkins?
Yo!
I'm that dude in the building, Shurlock. We gonna do it the right way. Shurlock! For the Night of the Roses, May 24th at Workplay with my homegirl, comedian Felicia, with my dudes, DJ Supreme and Shaheed, and the beautiful and talented Keisha Shop hosting.
Boom. Hey, man, don't be coming on my show trying to take my job.
Yes, sir.
That has been another episode of Talk Vibe Hustle. I've had an amazing time. We want to see y'all on the next one. Like and subscribe. Peace out.
Let's go.
Yo.